Tsunamis are one of the worst things that can happen in nature. These powerful waves can move as fast as a jet airliner and can destroy everything in their path, from office buildings to whole neighborhoods and villages. The most destructive tsunamis have been caused by large earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and underwater explosions. In today's video, we will share with you the top 9 most destructive tsunamis in human history. These were some of the deadliest tsunamis and worst earthquakes ever. So without any delay, let's dive in. Number 9. Indian Ocean Tsunami, 2004. On December 26, 2004, an earthquake in the Indian Ocean set off a series of deadly tsunamis that killed about 230,210 people. Only 168,000 of the people who died in the tsunami were from Indonesia. This makes it not only the deadliest tsunami in human history, but also one of the worst natural disasters ever. The third largest earthquake in history caused a tsunami in the Indian Ocean, which caused a lot of damage in more than 10 countries. The initial wave of this tsunami was about 33 meters high, which also makes it the largest tsunami caused by an earthquake. The earthquake that caused this tsunami was on the west coast of Sumatra. It was between 9.1 and 9.3 on the Richter scale. The undersea thrust earthquake caused the tsunami, and this happened when the Indian plate was pushed under the Burma plate. This caused a series of destructive tsunamis along the Indian coast. Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and Thailand were the most affected countries. Number 8. Pangandaran Tsunami, 2006. In July 17, 2006, an earthquake happened along a subduction zone off the coast of West and Central Java, a large, densely populated island in Indonesia. In Jakarta, the capital and largest city of Indonesia, the maximum intensity of the shock was rated as 4, or light. Due to the low intensity of the shaking, there were no direct effects from the earthquake. Instead, most of the deaths were caused by the tsunami, which hit a 300-kilometer stretch of the Java coast that had not been affected by the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami that happened off the coast of Sumatra. The quake that happened in July 2006 was also in the Indian Ocean, 180 kilometers from the coast of Java, and it lasted for more than 3 minutes. Number 7. Solomon Island Tsunami, 2007. The 2007 Solomon Islands earthquake happened on April 2, 2007 on Gizo Island near the provincial capital of Gizo. At least 52 people were killed and 60 went missing when a tsunami caused by the earthquake hit the Solomon Islands and wiped out at least 13 villages. Thousands of people lost their homes, and the damage is estimated to cost millions of dollars. On the northern tip of Simbo Island, where the biggest waves were seen, the highest tsunami run-ups were 12 meters. This washed away 2 villages, Tapurai and Rikuru, and killed 10 people. On South Choisul, villages, gardens, and a hospital were washed away by waves that were 10 meters high. There were about 900 destroyed homes. The tsunami reached Papua New Guinea, and a family of 5 were reported missing from a remote island in Milne Bay Province, which was in its path. Number 6. Samoa Tsunami, 2009. On a beautiful Monday night in 2009, the shores of American Samoa, and Tonga, which were lined with palm trees, looked calm and peaceful. But early on Tuesday morning, residents and tourists were hit hard when 2 huge earthquakes happened almost at the same time, 120 miles off the island's coast. The earthquakes caused the tsunami waves as high as 22 meters that hit the shores and killed at least 192 people, 149 in Samoa, 34 in American Samoa, and 9 in Tonga. In addition to the people who died, houses were destroyed, cars were swept out to sea, and some villages were almost completely wiped out. With more than $200 million in damages, the islands were both physically and financially destroyed. Number 5. Chile Tsunami, 2010. The Chile earthquake of 2010 was a big one that happened off the coast of south-central Chile, February 27, 2010. It caused a lot of damage on land and set off a tsunami that destroyed some coastal areas of the country. More than 500 people died because of the earthquake and the tsunami. Even though strict building codes were put in place after the 1960 earthquake and changed several times in the 1990s, probably kept the damage to buildings within the earthquake zone to a minimum, many buildings, including almost 400,000 homes, still had major damage. Mole and Biobo, 2 first-order administrative districts on Chile's southern coast, were hit hard. Large parts of Biobo were left without water, electricity, and gas, and the tall buildings in Concepcion, the capital of the district and one of the largest cities in Chile, were among the most damaged. Number 4. Tohoku Tsunami, Japan, 2011. On March 11, 2011, the coast of Japan was hit by one of the worst tsunamis ever recorded. It was measured that the waves were 32 feet high and moving at about 500 miles per hour. This huge tsunami was caused by an earthquake that lasted for 6 minutes. People often call it the Great East Japan Earthquake. People in the affected area, which was mostly coastal towns, only had a few minutes to get out of the way before the wave hit. Even then, evacuation sites were hit hard, and some were washed away completely. Official reports said that 19,747 people died and 2,556 people went missing. High waves were caused by the earthquake and tsunami, which also led to the nuclear disaster at Fukushima Daiichi. 3 of the plant's reactors melted down, letting out radioactive waste. This affected a lot of people in the area and caused more people to leave their homes. Between $14.5 and $34.6 billion were lost because of the earthquake. Many people call it the most expensive natural disaster ever. Number 3. Palu Tsunami 2018. With a magnitude of 7.5, the Palu earthquake was the most destructive to hit the country since 2004. The quake happened on Friday, September 28, 2018, and it was caused by the movement of tectonic plates side by side, and the epicenter was 10 kilometers off the coast of the island of Sulawesi. Its closeness to heavily populated areas has caused a lot of damage to the island. More than 2,000 people have died, 70,000 people have been forced to move, and thousands are still missing. 5 minutes after the earthquake, the Indonesian Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency sent out a tsunami warning. Officials had predicted waves up to 3 meters high, but in some places, waves were as high as 6 meters and went as far as 1 kilometer inland, destroying everything in its path. As the water went back into the sea, the bodies could be seen. The Palu tsunami was not caused by a strong earthquake like most tsunamis. Instead, it was caused by the horizontal movement of tectonic plates. Number 2. The Sunda Strait Tsunami 2018. On December 23, 2018, a tsunami hit the Sunda Strait. This is the 3rd big tsunami to start in this area. The first one happened in 1883, and the second one happened in 2004. Even though this area had been hit by 2 of the worst tsunamis ever recorded, there was no warning for this one. At least 373 people died, and hundreds more are thought to be missing. Nearly 2,000 people had to move. Even though the other numbers on this list are much bigger, what makes this tsunami one of the worst is that fewer people could have died if people had made better plans. After the tsunami had already occurred, people learned that volcanic activity on Anak Krakatoa was the root cause of this disaster. However, the tsunami warning system was flawed, as its design was only to detect seismic activity, not volcanic, which allowed for this tsunami to come by surprise. Number 1. Hunga Tonga, Hunga Ha'apai Eruption and Tsunami 2022. On January 15, 2022, an underwater volcano called Hunga Ha'apai erupted, causing a deadly tsunami and covering many of Tonga's islands with a thick layer of volcanic ash. 3 people died because of the tsunami. 2 of them were from Tonga, and the 3rd was from Britain. There were also reports of serious injuries. The main island of Tonga, Tonga Tapu, where the capital, Nuku Alofa, is located, had a lot of ash fall and flooding, and most of the infrastructure on several outer islands was destroyed. On January 23rd, people from the worst hit islands were moved to Tonga Tapu to help with the relief efforts. The tsunami did a lot of damage to the undersea fiber optic cables that connect Tonga to the rest of the world and to the rest of the country. This temporarily cut off communications with and within the island nation. Even though the disaster was on a scale that had never been seen before, the government of Tonga, with help from Australia, responded quickly and effectively. They are now focusing on recovery and rebuilding. Alright everyone, we've come to the end of our video. So which of the tsunamis do you think was the most dangerous? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to keep up with our latest videos. And we'll see you next time.